at 9:40 a.m. And board members, we're going to start with a roll call. Ms. Kidman, you want to start us off?
Sandra Kidman,
Desiree Feller, board clerk.
And Bob Candelaria, board president, joined by Lynn Hoffman, executive secretary of the board, and also Larry Wallen. So welcome, folks. First item of business for the special meeting is the approval of the agenda. That's an action item. I need a motion and a second.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
It says we're done. I gotta stop. Otherwise it won't.
All right, special meeting, item A.
Approval needed.
Excuse me?
We need to vote
A
on the
vote.
motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I called for that vote. I thought everyone signified by saying aye.
So that's good.
And then
Okay. So yes, that's what I was looking at. I thought we'd look at some other
Hey,
students.
Brian, mute yourself.
do we have an issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Then are you okay?
Yeah, I was just asking Brian to mute himself. We could hear him talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Let's go ahead and go on item A, approval of proposed budget and expenditures for 20.
Okay. Okay.
Are we all right? All right. Again, item A, approval of
Right.
proposed budget.
Okay. Thanks.
We're
I
chat-
think he's on his phone.
Brian, you need to mute yourself.
I think, are we there? Okay, we'll try again. Item A, approval of proposed budget and expenditures for 2020, 2021 school year. This is an action item. I'll ask for a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the agenda, the line item there. Sorry.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second that.
We have a motion in the second. I believe it's Bindi going to be speaking to this.
Thank you very much for the approval, sir. And we will make the changes requested when we go to adopt the budget. So thank you for your approval.
We haven't approved anything yet. Still need to vote.
I'm sorry.
Okay, would you please, I apologize. Would you please repeat that? And I know that we had questions about contingency in the budget and various things like that, that we needed to address. And I apologize. Oof.
Yes, sir. So
Oh. I'm the only one in the office this morning. I apologize. Could you go ahead and repeat that and then address the concerns of the board?
yes, I apologize for thinking it was approved before. Sorry. So I was saying we will make the changes requested, and we will, at the time of adoption, we will have the adjustments requested for the adjacent ways dollars and the tax rate. And also Mr. Wallen and I sat down, we looked at all the contingencies, and then yes, an impact aid, there's the $3.5 million contingency that we will carry forward to next year.
Did you
And
say,
then I still need to sit down with Ms. Kidman and Mr. And the board members to show them some details. Within the next 10 days, we will set that up.
so did you say 3.5 million contingency that you see? This
In
point?
impact aid fund, yes,
Okay.
And other funds as well that will be coming in.
yes.
Okay.
Mr. Wallen?
Mr. President, members of the board, if you had that proposal, the presentation that Vindy did, the PowerPoint, and you go to the impact aid budget page, and you look at the purchase services, it says $4.3 million in purchase services. That's where the contingency is budgeted. It just sits there, and then we move it where we need it. So I apologize. I'm not familiar with your procedures, and that kind of threw me, but that's where that contingency is. So it is there. And we verified
Okay.
that with Vindy, and we verified that with our financial advisors as well.
Also, I
Okay,
apologize.
well, that's a huge relief because that really had me concerned the other day.
Yes,
I don't-
absolutely.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't
because-
see,
sorry.
I don't see, no, that's okay. I don't see in my special meeting attachment the adjacent ways right now. Where did you set that as?
That's a part of the budget piece, Sandra.
Yeah, where is it?
What page is that, Bindi?
Page 5, I want to say.
Page 5, okay.
And what we
Right
had to
now,
do,
Sorry.
what we
I
had
was
to do,
just
Miss,
Sorry. On,
Go ahead.
Okay, mine still says $700,000.
Ms. Kidman, yes, we were going to approve this budget presented on the 23rd, and then we were going to make changes. We have time to make changes before we adopt.
Okay,
I was
we had
advised.
to do that under advice of our legal counsel because of the public hearing before. In the public hearing
Oh, I
before,
see.
remember, we had that number. So now you'll revise it. This is just the proposed. So when we do the adopted, that's when we change that.
okay, when is that due?
Was that July 14th?
14th. Yes.
Yeah.
July 14th.
Yes,
By
July
July
14th.
15th? Okay,
Yes.
so,
So when people contact you, that will be adjusted down, yes, to the 100,000.
okay, so, but if I approve this proposed budget right now, what about the thing that we have, the documentation that we have to submit to the county for our taxes?
So it's in the notice, the truth and taxation notice, it will still go on as the 500,000 to be published in the newspaper, but we will, once they call, or I will let them know that it will be adjusted, is what we were advised by the legal counsel to be legal. And we need to approve this proposed budget is what we were told.
Correct.
So
This,
what
the key word is this is proposed.
Right,
And
and
so
I
we already,
I understand all that, but where is my, where do I make sure that,
it goes down.
Sandra,
Yes.
it gets
Okay.
adopted July 15th. I mean, it'll be adopted by the board with the correct figures July 14th at that public hearing meeting. And then it's due to the county and state on July 15th. And that's when the revised amounts is what Vindy will be submitting.
okay,
I
that
need
I-
to- Go ahead, Sandra, go ahead.
I know we can always go down, but you know,
Correct.
there's always people that will say, well, you approved this already, so too bad.
No.
So,
Well, but you know, and you want to respond to them, yes, we did, but we approved the proposal. And we already know we're going to
Okay.
take it down. And we had to do it that
Okay.
way because of legal requirements.
all right,
I just want to make sure I heard that clear as well, because I was thinking we don't have to move it up. We're going to move it down in the July 15th.
Correct. You can, once you adopt the proposed budget,
Yep.
you cannot increase it. You
Understand.
can only decrease it between now and then. And later, after you've adopted, the word adopted, after you've adopted the budget, when we do revisions down the road, if we have additional revenues, then you can increase it. But during the time from the proposed to the adopted, you cannot increase the budget because
Okay.
the adopted budget has to be less than the proposed, at equal or less than the proposed budget.
Good. Thanks for that clarification. I appreciate that. Any other questions from the board or comments?
okay, so I just want to clarify, we're not submitting anything till July 15th to the county, right?
Correct.
Okay,
All right, good. Thank you, Ms. Kidman. Ms. Fowler, do you have anything?
I just want to say, with the 3.5 million coming out of, coming from Impact Aid, I think it is very important that we continue to advocate for Impact Aid continuously as the board and make sure that our representation is well known in Washington. I mean, again, it is a lot of money funding coming to our school district. So I just would appreciate that support in the future.
I agree. Thank you so much.
can I say one more thing? Okay, I would like to, Lynn, would you note that I would like to have a item on our next board agenda whenever, when Vindy said that she's gonna do a comprehensive budget presentation, just to make sure that that is on our future agenda item list, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So a budget, a more in-depth budget presentation.
Well, I would like to know, so the 3.5 in contingency is still there. So, but I would like to know what caused us to have a reduced rollover of $900,000, what the contributing factors were to that. And then, have a little bit more of an explanation of why that 3.5 million seemed to not have been there, why that is, or and not, that doesn't have to happen in public. Somebody can just call and explain that to me. But the $900,000, I would really like to see what contributed to us not being able, because basically in layman's terms, it's like I had $1,900 last year in my savings, and then this year I only have $1,000 in my savings. So I would like to know, and if we're not making any changes, then next year we'll only have $100,000 left for rollover, or even less. So I would like to see what contributed to that, those expenditures, and what we can do to stop the bleeding, because we need to make sure. I mean, now that the governor has said that, you know, the 98%, that's great, because that gives us a whole year to prepare for the following year. But if we keep blowing through our money and we lose students, and I realize this is all what ifs, but we did blow through $900,000. We will see in 3 months how many students we have. My suspicion is that we're going to lose more than 2%. So then we need to have a good action plan on what positions are we going to cut, or which people are we going to cut, and make sure that we roll over some money, because we are a school district with a continuous loss of ADM for the last 10, 15 years. And we just do not have the luxury of spending more money than we have. And I would really like us to spend less money than what we have.
Wallen.
Thank you, Ms. Kidman. That is well taken and right on target. In Arizona, the way the funding formulas are structured right now, if you're a growing district, you'll do fine. But if you start declining in terms of enrollment, you've got to be very strategic in that planning. And that's what we have to do. You're absolutely correct. We've got to plan that. And it's great that the governor's given us a 1-year cushion where we can potentially just have a 2%, but it could be a 10 or 15% for that next year. And so we've got to start getting ready now in relation to that.
Thank you.
Good conversation.
noted
Very,
that,
very well
Sandra.
needed, and points well taken, Sandra. All right, any other comments? If not, we've got a motion and a second, so I'll call for the vote. All in favor of the proposed budget for 2020, 2021, say aye and indicate. Aye. All right, good. All right, that's the only item on the agenda. I'll call for a motion for adjournment.
I make
I
a
make a
motion
motion
to
we
adjourn.
And do we have 2 people
Meeting.
saying, I second?
Second.
All right, good. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Bindi, thank you so much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wallen,
Thank you very much, Ms. Kidman, Mr. Candelaria, and Ms. Fowler. Thank you so much.
Very
You're
good.
very welcome. Bye.